So what happens when a soldier dies, not at the hands of the enemy, but maybe, just maybe, at the hands of his own commander? We're diving into a recent video investigation that looks at this exact question. It's a really disturbing story, centered on the death of one soldier and a practice some claim is happening just behind the front lines.
The source material we're breaking down here starts with a really chilling piece of military slang, obnuleniye. It's a Russian term, and it means basically when soldiers are murdered by their own side. But the video immediately makes this provocative claim that this isn't just a Russian army thing.
And that leads us to the huge question that this whole investigation is built around. Could something like this be happening inside the Ukrainian military? It's a shocking allegation for sure, and the source video centers its entire argument on the story of one man.
That soldier, the man at the heart of this story, is Serhiy Martsynkevych. He was a senior soldier, a commander of an anti-tank missile unit in the 28th Separate Mechanized Brigade.
Now, the undisputed facts of the case are pretty stark. In August of 2025, Serhiy's body was found on the edge of a town called Druskivka in the Donetsk region. And the circumstances were, well, they were bizarre. He was wearing only his underwear and socks.
So what on earth happened to him? This is where the story just completely splits into two different versions. First, let's take a look at the official account, based on the documents cited in the source material.
Officially, the cause of death was a brain hemorrhage caused by hypertensive disease. Basically a stroke. This conclusion pretty clearly implies his death was from natural causes and that no foul play was involved.
But his family, they tell a completely different story, and it's a much more violent one. Their version of what happened paints a picture that is pretty much impossible to reconcile with that official conclusion. The family's timeline of Serhiy's final days it's just dark. It all started in early August, with a conflict over a mission he called hellish. After he pulled his unit out, he claimed his commander beat and choked him. Then, on August 9th, he sent this frantic final video message, just, "I love you all, goodbye." And after that, his phone went silent. The very next day, his family learned from the police that a body had been found. And this leads to the family's most damning accusation. According to his sister, Christina, right before he disappeared, Serhiy told them point blank his commander wanted to kill him. This is what transforms their grief into a deep suspicion of foul play. So here we are with two completely different narratives. Let's break them down side by side just to see how far apart these two stories really are. When the family was finally able to see Serhiy's body, his sister's description was just horrifying. She claims he was covered in bruises, all blue, and that it looked as if he'd been wrapped in wire. I mean, it's a really visceral account that is just impossible to square with an official finding of death by natural causes.
And here, you can see the two stories are in direct opposition. The official report says death by natural causes, no signs of violence. The family, on the other hand, alleges extensive bruising, a head injury, and even dirt under his nails suggesting a struggle. They also insist he never had any history of hypertension, which directly contradicts the official cause of death. With two stories this different, you'd have to ask, what happened next? Where does the official investigation into Serhiy's death actually stand?
Well, the details of the official investigation are telling. A criminal case was opened for intentional murder, but then, get this, it has a note on it saying natural death. The investigation has been going on since August 2025, and there are still no suspects. Meanwhile, the family's lawyer has reportedly received 0 documents, and their calls to the commander have allegedly been blocked.
And at the same time, according to the source video, the military has confirmed that the commander at the center of all these allegations, he remains on active duty, participating in the defense of Ukraine.
So, the source video uses this tragic story not just as an isolated incident, but as evidence for a much broader and, frankly, more disturbing conclusion. The narrator of the video directly labels this case as an example of obnuleniye, Ukrainian style. They are explicitly drawing a parallel between this death and that practice of commanders killing their own soldiers, which they initially defined as a Russian phenomenon.
And this is where the source material leaves us. It doesn't offer any easy answers. Instead, after laying out the whole contradictory case of Serhiy Martsynkevych, it poses one final, very provocative question to its audience. In the current system, how much is a person's life truly worth?